Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Welcome back to our channel, and in today's video we are going to be making a membership type website on WordPress. We'll go over how to install WordPress on a local computer, we'll go over some popular WordPress plugins for memberships, and then we will also go over some WordPress hosting options as well. So without further ado, let's get started. So why should you use WordPress for your membership website? WordPress is a really popular CMS and it can be used to create a variety of different websites, including a membership type website. It's very easy to learn. It has a large active community of users. That means there's loads of resources available to help you when you encounter any problems. There's also loads of third-party plugins and themes that can be used to extend the functionality of your WordPress website, and we'll go over a really popular one as well in this video. WordPress is secure and reliable. It's constantly being updated with security patches and bug fixes. This helps to protect your website from hackers and malware. You can start with a small WordPress is really scalable. You can start with a small WordPress website and easily scale it up as your membership grows. It's a platform that's designed to handle large amounts of traffic and data. And WordPress is SEO friendly, so it's built on a foundation of good SEO practices, which means that your website will be more likely to appear in search engine results pages as well. Overall, WordPress is a really powerful and versatile platform that can be used to create a successful membership. If you're looking for a user-friendly, secure, scalable CMS, then WordPress is a great option. You can also use WordPress specifically for membership websites. You can create gated content, you can sell subscriptions, you can track member activity and send targeted emails as well. So let's get started with our WordPress website. What we're going to do first is learn how to install WordPress on our local computer, and we'll also go over how to edit parts of our website using Elementor as well. So whenever you are starting creating your WordPress website, you want to essentially create a local version of that website on your device. This means that you don't have to immediately start paying for hosting a website. If you're not ready to, you can build everything on your desktop or laptop and still be able to get the experience of what that site will look like without having to pay any hosting experience. And it also just means that it'll be easier to make edits to your website, as you're the only person that can access it as well. So while you're in the initial design stage, you want to think about setting up a local site on your computer, and the easiest way to do that is using Local by Flywheel, which is a local WordPress development tool, and it's basically designed to create, test and deploy WordPress websites, and it's available for both Mac and Windows. It allows for easy setup, multiple environments, easy deployment, and advanced features as well, like the WP CLI support, root SSH access, and the ability to host swap PHP environments as well. It's really easy to download and install. What you want to do is go onto the website, you just want to click on download for free, and you just want to click on your platform. Again, it's on Mac, Windows, and Linux as well, but you just want to click on whichever software works for you, and then you just need to fill in your name, your organization type, and your work email, and then it'll automatically download. It's completely free. You just need to fill in those details, and then you can start with Local by Flywheel. So once you have your website, your Local by Flywheel downloaded and installed, it'll look something like this. So you'll have a section for local sites. So I already have this downloaded and a few sites set up. This will be 0 if you're just downloading this. And it's from here you can open your local sites, you can start them, you can connect to your host and deploy sites from here. They also have blueprints, and they also have some add-ons as well. In today's video, we're just going to focus on creating a new local website on your computer. So you just want to go into the local sites tab here, and you can see we've got some sites here, but you'll have 0 if you're just installing this. What you want to do is click on this plus button here and click on add local site. Now there's different ways to do this. You can create a new site, completely fresh WordPress install. We can create from a blueprint. So if you have a blueprint of sites with pre-installed elements and plugins and themes, you can create it from that. If you have an existing site to download, you can upload it as a zip file, and then you can have it that way as well. But we're just going to create a new site from the beginning. I'm just going to give it a site name, and you can give it advanced options as well, like where you want what you want the site domain to be and what you want the local site path to be, so where exactly all the files saved. I just want to click on continue. And what's really good about Local by Flywheel is that you can have custom environments as well, so you can choose which version of PHP you want to do, which web server, what database. If you do preferred, it'll just use the most up-to-date versions of everything, but if you want to use a more custom version, you can. And then you just want to click on continue. You want to give it your WordPress username and password, and an email. Again, advanced options if you are a subdirectory or subdomain website, but we're just going to have a normal website, and you're just going to click add site. Then the website will then start creating files and just installing a WordPress local file on your computer. And that's it. So I have this local site set up. There's a few plugins I already have set up, so there's a few messages already, but you'll have a blank WordPress install essentially, and that way you can start getting work loaded on your site. The first things that you want to do is add in all the plugins and make sure that you choose the theme that you want. In today's video we are going to use the Hello theme, but you just want to make sure you're using the theme that works best for you. So now let's go over WordPress and actually setting up your website for the subscription-based product services.
Elementor Pro comes with the addition of the Theme Builder. Theme Builder allows you to customize core parts of your theme, things like your header, footer, single product, single pages, things like that. And that's part of the Pro version. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you have your Elementor plugins installed and updated. You can just go into plugins on WordPress backend and just check that. And you want to make sure that you have both Elementor and Elementor Pro in order to access the Elementor header settings. And you also want to make sure everything's updated as well. So the first thing that you want to do is go into templates, and within templates there's a menu for Theme Builder, and you want to click on that. Within the Theme Builder, you want to click on Header as the header parts, and you want to click Add New. And you can see when you first open the header theme, you have the option to actually use pre-designed themes headers for you. So for example, any of these, you're actually free to use. They come as part of Elementor's templates. Elementor have a lot of templates. They're free to use. They come with your license, and they also are fully responsive as well. So if you wanted to use one of those, all you need to do is click on the one that you want. Click on the plus just to see it in full and interact with it as well. And if you're happy with that, you just click insert, and it'll insert that theme for that header for you. And you can see it's all there. The only thing you would need to do now is just make sure that the branding is how you want it. Update the imagery and update the colors if you wanted to. And that's if you were to use the theme. You could also just build it from scratch as well. So if you decide not to go for the template, this is what you'll see. You'll just see a blank version, and you'll see the footer as well. A good header is very clear. It's not too busy with different and doesn't overwhelm users with a lot of options. It has all your branding and is also mobile responsive. So the first thing that you want to do is add a section, and you can see this plus button, and it'll ask you to select your structure. So Elementor works in section structures, and within those section structures are columns, and within those columns are the elements. So you can see with terms of structure, there's different structure layouts. There's like a 2-column structure here. There's a 1-column structure here, 3-column, 4-column, and then you've got uneven structures as well. In this example, we'll do a 3-column layout, but we'll use this one here where the columns are 2 on each end that are exact size but smaller, and the one in the middle is slightly bigger. And you can see that's kind of automatically added as well. The width of this will take your site width. So if you go into site settings, you can see what the content width is. If you go into layout, and this is the content width as 1140, you can obviously increase the width of that as well. But it's always good to keep it within the content width. We will increase that to 155, and you can see it's a little bit more full width now. So the way this will be added is usually you want to add a logo first. So to do that, you just drag on the image block here and drag that over to the logo, to where the logo is going to be. Then you want to click into that onto the editor so you can see what you can edit and actually add your logo just in the choose image part. And you can see that's been added as well. What you can do is resize it, so that maybe it might be a bit too big. So you can either use image sizing and use default image sizing, like for example, WooCommerce thumbnail, medium, thumbnail, things like that. We'll keep it to the thumbnail image for now. And what you can also do is align it as well. You can also resize the column structure and just make it smaller that way. And then you've got a slightly smaller there anyway here. The next thing you want to do is add the menu. So I'm going to add the menu here. So you want to go back to the element list here, and you're looking for the menu element. You'll see it under the site, and you're looking for that menu. And you want to select the menu. So we've got the primary menu here, and you've got the menu over here as well. And then what you can do afterwards is add a call to action. So it's really good to add a final kind of call to action separate to the menu to lead customers to wherever it is that you want to go. If you want more customers to lead to your contact page, then what you can do is add it as a button. So if we go back to the editor here and look for the button widget, click and drag that over. We can change that to read contact. And that makes the call to action stand out a bit more and kind of entices your user to click on that. If you want users to go to your shop page more, then you can have that as a call to action. You use that as to shop. Essentially, the main call to action that you want people to do, the main thing that you want people to do, whether that's to buy, to get in contact, to inquire, you want to add that as a separate call to action as a button to make that a bit more eye-catching to the user and to draw them towards the main thing that you want users to do. So we'll leave that as inquire now. The link to the user's contact page. So you want to go into the link here, and you're just going to type in contact, and you want to link to the contact page. That is basically the bare minimum that we're going to add to our header. So what we're going to do now is style it a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is click onto the menu and align it to the middle. And then you can see when I hover over, I've got a sort of pointer at the bottom. It's set to underline by default. You can overline, which will put it at the top. You can see up here. You can also do double line. And you can see that kind of boxes it in. And then you've got framed, which will kind of put which will kind of put like a frame on each link. You've got background, so it'll add a background to each of the links. And then you've got text. And this will basically just increase the hover functionality of your nav menu. You can also just pick none and have it not do any kind of animation apart from just changing colors. It's up to you. So in this case, we'll just keep it to text, and you can see within the text there's like different text animations that you can have. So for example, if we did skew, it does kind of skew the text a little bit, rotate. You've got a number of different options for the text animation. The next thing that you want to do is use a sub-menu indicator, and this is good if you have drop downs and it's essentially asking you what you want that icon to look like. So by default it's this drop down, but you can use Elementor's icon library to see which one you actually like. So obviously you want to pick something that's like a downward facing arrow, but you can use whichever one that you want. Or you can just click on none. However, if you do have submenus, it's ideal if you do have a submenu indicator. Otherwise, people aren't really going to know that there is drop down unless they accidentally come across it by hovering over it. The next thing is the mobile drop down. So this is asking you for the mobile breakpoint. So essentially, at what point of a user's screen size do you want it to break, essentially, so that it shows the mobile version of the nav menu. So right now by default it's set to tablet. So on tablet mode, then it'll show the mobile menu. If you'd rather it show the mobile menu on mobile, then switch that to mobile. And now when we go to mobile, it's showing the mobile menu only. You can also set it to none, but I recommend putting it either mobile or even tablet if you think the space works better. So essentially, you just pick the breakpoint at which the menu turns into a mobile menu. Full width. So this is basically to stretch the drop down of the menu to full width. So if you do have a menu drop down, if you go here, you can see it goes full width. As opposed to when you use not full width, there's kind of it's barred off as well. So you can see the difference. Just like that. So it's up to you. It's a line of personal preference. If you like the full width style, go with the full width style. If you don't like the full width style, then just go with the normal kind of drop down preference. And then you've got a line, and this is just for the mobile menu. So if you want the text to be in the center, you change the alignment to center. And if you want it to aside, then you change the alignment to aside. Again, this is down to personal preference. If the user were to click in this white space, it would still take them to where the link is. So the functionality is still the same. It's just a matter of preference if you prefer to have it in the middle, or if you prefer to have it off to the side. Then you've got the toggle button. So this is essentially what kind of button that you want it to show. You can have it as hamburger. You can also have it set to none. In order to save space, it's better obviously just to have it as the hamburger. But then what you can do is you could change the icon. So by default, it's the toggle icon. But you can pick one that you prefer from the icon library. Or if you want, you can always upload your own. So if you click on upload CSV or upload SVG, and you need to enable unfiltered downloads in order to do this, but you can upload your own SVG file and upload your own icons as well. And then finally, toggle align. So it's similar to the text align. So do you want the toggle to be on the left? Do you want it in the center? Do you want it on the right? So something that you prefer, basically. It's personal preference, but you also need to think about where the user's hands are going to be and where they're most likely to click. Usually the menu stays on the right. You can put it on the left. Putting it center might be a bit, is not as common. So either left or right, I think would work. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change the background color a little bit. So I'm going to go into section. I'm going to go into style and change the background type. And I want to match it to the green logo. So what you can do with that is if you click into color and you look at this color sampler, you can actually use this to color sample certain colors, and it'll automatically change or as a preview to the color that you've just color matched. So that's that's part of Elementor's new update. So you can color match really easily if you wanted to. And then once you have that color, what you can do is you can also add it and create it as a new global color. We'll call it logo green. It's the green that's in the logo. And now we've got the background to match the logo, basically. So the logo is kind of in its own space. The next thing I want to do is align this content and align the button content to the middle. So I'm going to go into the column settings, and where it says vertical alignment, default is set to the top, but I'm going to set it to middle. And now that's been brought to the middle, so it's not so close to the top. And I'm going to do the same with this column, and then change the vertical alignment to middle. So now I've got this content here, and now that I've changed the background, I also want to now change the color of the font here to white, so it's a little bit easier to see. So I'm clicking into the element here, and I'm going to go into style, and I'm looking for text color, and you can see within the menu there's different states. Basically, there's the normal state. So this kind of refers to the different hover states, basically. So you've got normal, so this is when the nav menu is in its normal state. Then you've got hovers. Whenever someone hovers over one of the links in the nav menu, change the styling here. Then you've got active, so this is when it's on the page that the person is currently clicked on, and you can change the text color there. So for normal, I'm going to switch back to normal, and then we'll change the text color to white. And then for hover, I'm going to change the text color to black. So now when I hover over these, it's going to go to black. It's up to you if you want the active to stay as the same color as normal, or you can have it to stay as the color of black. It's up to you basically how you just want to do that. But essentially, you want to differentiate between the different states so that users know what they're clicking on and what page that they're on, essentially. Also within styling, you can choose to add dividers, and you can choose what kind of dividers, divider styling, the width and height and color of them. If you think that might help separation, or if you prefer the look of it, again, it's just down to personal preference. And that's it. So what other things that you can do with the styling is you can change the padding and space between. So if I click on space between and drag it, you can see it increases the space a little bit. You don't want to space it out too much, but you do want to kind of use the space that's been given, and make sure it's easy for users to kind of click on each individual one. You can change the styling of the drop down as well. So you can change the text color, and this is essentially the text color of the links on the drop down. What I'll do is, so we'll save this as draft, and we'll go back to the menu, and we can add a drop down as well, just so we can see. If we go to exit, and we go on to menus, and make sure that you're selecting the primary menu, and we'll add, say, the profile to the menu, and we'll put that under the My Account and just save that. So now we have a drop-down menu on the back end. So we're going to style that on the front end. So go back to templates, theme builder. And we're going to click on Elementor header. And this is the one that we've just been editing. And we're just going to click on edit. So now if you go back to the nav menu styling, go into style and go into drop down, we can see we've got the menu indicator and you've got the drop down here. What we can do is change the background color to the logo green. You can see that one there. But you can see it kind of blends in too much, so we'll maybe keep it to white. And we can change the text color either to green or we can change it to black. And similar to the main menu, there's different states for the drop down. So if we go into hover, so the normal state is green text and white background. And the hover text we can change to black background and white text. So you can see this is the styling, drop-down styling in the normal, and this is the hover to how we wanted it, and it kind of reflects similar to the way the nav menu works as well. And again, with the active, you can decide if you want it to follow the same styling as normal or for the same styling as hover. So again, within drop-down styling, you can change the border type if you wanted to add a border to all of them. Then the border kind of applies itself onto the outside of the nav menu container, and you can decide which kind of border type that you want. And then within that, you can change the border radius. This is again just for the drop down. What you can also do is change the horizontal and vertical padding. So if we increase the vertical padding, for example, you can see increases the padding that way. It's usually good to set to default anyway, but if you want to add more padding to each of them, you can. And again, you can set a divider as well if you need to. So this will show whenever you have multiple drop downs, links in your drop down, it'll add a divider similar to how these dividers have been added. And you can change the width and color of all of them. The next thing then is the toggle button. So styling the toggle button. So if you want to style that, it's best to put your menu in mobile mode, and you can see we can change color and backgrounds. Color being the color of the actual icon, we can maybe change that to white, and the background color then we can change to maybe black, and you can see that's kind of updated here. Then you've got the hover state as well. This isn't really used so much if you're on mobile, as you can't really hover on icons on mobile, you just click on them. So you're really just sticking to the toggle button here as the normal hover state. So the next thing that I want to edit is the contact button. So the first thing I want to do is change the alignment to center, so it's centered a little bit. And then I want to go into style and change the styling of all of them. So we've got the color of the background as green. I'm going to change that to black to make it stand out a bit more. And then obviously I'm going to change the text color, and I'll change that to white. So you can see I've got the button, call to action button, and this stands out a bit more that way. The next thing I want to do is change the hover state. So right now there's no hover state. There's no difference in the hover colors, and you obviously with the buttons you want to make sure that there is a different styling for the hover button. So you click into that, and then you change the background type, and I am going to change it to white. You can see when I hover over that, it goes to white, and I'm going to change the text color, and I'm actually change the text color to the logo green, and you can see I've got that changed now. So again, we want to make sure that you add the call to action button and make it stand out as much as possible by using the different colors. But obviously you want to use colors that actually go with the theme and go with the other colors that you're using. So I've got the basics set up, and I've got the basic color set up. Looking at it, I think it's a bit wide, quite thick. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to reduce the size of the logo a little bit. As that's the image, as that's the bit of element that's actually stretching it. So I'm going to change the max width and change the width of it a little bit. And you kind of want to just play around with this. You don't want to make it too small, obviously, but you do want to kind of improve it so that this menu isn't so large. And then if you click on this button here to kind of see what the image looks like, you can see it's a bit smaller. And you can see there's space now for everything as well. And then other things you can sort of add as well is like a top navigation bar. So if you click on this plus sign and then add a one column structure, what we'll do is we'll change the content width to match the content width with the other one. And what you can do is if you wanted to add more, but you don't want to make it so busy. So for example, you want to add social icons, you can actually add them as a top bar. At the top. So you can essentially add more things, but you don't want to make the nav bar too busy. So for example, I'm going to add some social media icons in a different colorway as to the bottom nav bar. And we'll change the styling of them. So we'll see custom color, primary color being the logo green maybe. And we'll do the secondary color as white, and then instead we'll change the logo, the hover color to invert the colors. And then we'll also update the styling. So you can see this top bar isn't aligned with the button. That's because the button is align centered. So what I'll do is align this button to the left, and you can see it's a bit more aligned now. And another thing we can add is maybe some contact information, so maybe like a phone number and email. So what we'll do is we'll add another column to the top bar. We'll swap the columns over because I want the social media links on the right, and on the left we'll add the maybe a phone number and an email, and I'm going to add that as a list. So you can see there's an icon list here, and I'm going to change the layout to inline so it's all beside each other. And the first thing I'm going to add is the email. So I'm going to add the email list here. And I'm going to change the icon to an email so people know that this is an email that they can email at any time. And the next one I'll change to the phone number. And I'm going to again change the icon to a phone number. And then I'm going to go into styling and make sure that the styling matches everything that I've used so far. And then we'll change the hover color as well. So now when we hide the navigator, you can see we've got a top bar. So it's adding top bars are a good way to add more content to your nav bar without making the actual nav bar look too busy. So it's good to add things like your contact information at the top and social media links, because the contact information acts as contact information and it'll appear on every single page. So if at any time someone wants to email or phone, it's they're being taken to that page really easily. And the social media links as well, if they ever want to go to your social media, they can do that on any single page. It also acts as external linking, which Google like to see. If there's external links on your page, social media links will count, and in the header means that they'll be able to count on every single page as well. So I'm happy with everything on desktop. The next thing I'm going to do is check the responsive mode and make sure everything's good on mobile. So with the top bar, depending on how much space everything's been taken, you can choose to hide top bar. So if you go into the section here, go into advanced or go into responsive, we can choose to hide that on mobile. Again, it just depends on how much space that there is taking. We'll unhide it for now and we'll fix the mobile spacing on this, and maybe that'll help. So the first thing we're going to do is change the image and make it a bit smaller. And the next thing we want to do is I want to put this toggle onto the right-hand side of the logo. The way mobile works is that each column now takes up 100% by default. So this column is 100% width, this column is 100% width, and this column is 100% width. So what I want to do is change each of these to 50% each so that it automatically goes inline. So this column here, I'm going to click into the column, and you can see column width as a percentage, and I'm going to change that to 50. And then I want to do the same with this column. It's at 100%. I'm going to change that to 50. And you can see they're now beside each other because both these columns in total make 100 instead of each column being 100 each. You can see now I need to update the image width again because it's gone a bit too small. So I'm going to increase it a bit like that. And with the icon, I am going to change that toggle alignment to the right. So that is now set as the mobile section. And this column here, it's taking up too much space. So what I want to do is go into click into the column, click in responsive, and hide just that column on mobile. And you can see this is what it looks like on mobile now. Again, this might be a bit too much. So what we can do is maybe we can try adding, hiding this column on mobile instead of the entire section. This isn't too bad. What we can do is see if we can change the space between, to see if we can get it all in one line. It's a bit squishy, so maybe I'll change the text size. And then increase the width again a little bit. Okay, so this is looking pretty well. So we've got the contact information and we've got the menu all here as well. And I'm quite happy with that. So it's just about sort of playing around with each column and making sure everything looks okay. And making sure that everything is mobile responsive as well. Another good feature of WordPress, of Elementor Builder, is that you can set different publishing different headers for different pages. So to see where it says publish, you just want to click on that and you can see there's different conditions to add your template. And these are called display conditions. So each theme builder part has an option for display conditions, and it basically just means it basically just means it'll only display certain template parts on your website, depending on if it meets certain conditions. So for example, if you click on display conditions, if you click add conditions for headers, immediately the first option is to add the template on the entire site. So if you click on that, it's going to use this. It's going to add this template to your entire site. The other thing you can do then is have it on certain pages. So if you click into instead of entire site and you go into singular, and what you can do is you can have it just set to front page. So what that means is it'll only use this template on the front page of your website, so your home page. So you can have one header for your homepage and another header for your for the rest of your site. And you can do the same with every single type. So if you want to do it on a specific page, you can do it on, for example, if you only want this header on the account page, you just search for account. And now this template will only show on the account page. You can always show it on certain pages that are that are in categories. So for example, if there's a certain category that you want in your posts that have different headers, all you need to do is go into posts and select which category is that post meant to be in and whether that's uncategorized. You want to make sure that you have the category set up first before adding the display conditions for it. The other things you can do is also for WooCommerce. So if you click into WooCommerce, and what you can do is you can set it for certain product archives that have a heading for a shop page, have one for search results, have one for certain categories, products in certain categories, things like that. So that's it. Once you've got your site header display condition set up, you can see what the site looks like with that header, and you can sort of decide basically for yourself how you want different pages of your site to be, and if you're wanting different headers, you can have them using the display conditions. Another thing you can do actually before that I missed is you can actually link the logo to the homepage, which is something that's recommended because a lot of people do now expect the logo to take you to the homepage. So in order to do that, all you need to do is edit the header again. Click into this here and go into link. Go into custom URL, and you want to just make it link to the homepage. And just click update. So now that's a link to the homepage, and it just means then you have a really easy way to get back to your homepage. It also just means if you have more stuff you want to add to your nav bar, but you don't want to make it busy, you can actually remove the home from your nav bar, and because people kind of instinctively know to go to the logo in order to get to your in order to get back to the homepage.
Okay, so now that we have our WordPress website set up. Now we just need to set up the actual subscription plugins as well. So what we want to do, you want to make sure that you have WooCommerce set up, as you see we can do, and WooCommerce is free. The next thing that you want to do is set up the subscriptions for WooCommerce plugin as well. So you've already got that set up as well. Again, this is a free version. There's a pro version that has a bit more advanced features. We're just going to work with the free version. Once you have the products installed, the plugins installed, you can see we've got the WooCommerce tab, we've got the subscriptions section as well, and we've got our products tab. So you can see we've got a few products set up here. So what we're going to do is actually go ahead and start setting up our subscription product. The first thing that we're going to do is come down to add new, and we're just going to add our new product, and we're just going to go through one by one all of the product fields, and we are just going to sell some wellness products. If you have set up a WooCommerce product before, if you've worked with WooCommerce before, this is going to be a very familiar process. You're going to give the product name, you're going to give a description as well. And then you just want to come down and make sure you set the right product images and the right product gallery as well, images and product gallery. And then you can decide if it's a simple product or available product as well. We're just going to have a simple product with a regular price of 15, and you can decide if you want the inventory in a certain way as well, if you want to manage the stock status by quantity, or if you're happy enough to have it indefinite. You want to make sure that you have the shipping set up as well. And then later on, if you decide you want to do upsells and cross sells as well, it's really important that you set up the details as realistic and as much as possible. You want to make sure you have enough of a product description. You want to make sure you want to use accurate images, and that way people know exactly what they're about to receive, and it reduces the chances of customers being disappointed with what they've gotten and returning a product as well. So once you have that, you just want to click publish, and that is your product set up. To set up the WordPress WooCommerce subscriptions, you just want to go into the WooCommerce subscription tab, and there's just a few steps that you want to do. So you have the general settings, so check this box to enable subscription for WooCommerce, and yes, you want to check that box, and you want to decide if you want the button label for the add to cart to be add to cart, or you can change the wording of it as well, same with the place order. Next thing then, you want to set the product name for your subscription product, and then you want to give it a short description as well. And then you want to create a longer description. You want to give it a subscription price. We'll do $12.99, and then you want to give the interval, so we'll say every 3 months, and then you want to click next. So now you want to set up the payment, and the way you do that is you either use Stripe or you can use PayPal checkout gateway as well. It's up to you which one you want to use, but essentially you can choose either one of them to set up your payments as well. And then once you're done, just want to click on finish, and that's it. So what you want to do as well is just making sure that you have your subscriptions all set up. If you go into subscription table, you'll see a list of all the subscriptions that are currently active and what they're using. And you just want to go in and add a subscription product for every single product that you want to add to your website. And that's it. So it's really as simple as that. You want to create your WordPress local on your computer. Then you want to design your website with the theme and the stylings that you had in mind, and then come in and add in your WooCommerce plugins and your subscription for WooCommerce. So now that we have fixed up our website, it's now time to add our membership plugin to extend the membership functionality. And one option that's definitely really good for a membership website is MemberPress. So MemberPress is a membership plugin created for WordPress, and it allows you to create, manage, and monetize your memberships. It provides a really powerful set of features that allows you to create gated content, sell subscriptions, and manage member data as well. MemberPress allows you to create content to help turn your website into a membership website. You can create and manage memberships really easily. It's very user friendly. It makes it easy to set up and manage your memberships. Even if you're not a technical expert, you can track member activity to see how they're engaging with your content. This data can help you improve your membership offerings and marketing strategy as well. You can sell your subscriptions to your memberships and generate recurring revenue from your content. There's also a variety of pricing options that can suit your business needs and your customers' needs as well. It's really powerful and versatile membership plugins as well. I can help you create, manage, and monetize your membership as well. So let's talk a little bit about the pricing. MemberPress doesn't have a free light version, but their pricing starts at about nearly £350. Right now it's on sale. They do have some sale offers on every now and again throughout the year. They have 3 pricing plans: Basic, Pro, Basic Plus, and Pro. With the main difference between all of them is the amount of sites that you can use it on, and then just some other features that they have as well. So the basic plan you can use it on 1 site. The plus plan will give you 2 sites, and the pro plan will give you 5 sites, and you can have more options in terms of selling capabilities, including like selling corporate accounts, and then different types of memberships as well. So it's up to you how you want to set it up. If you are beginning off with your membership site, then maybe starting off with the basic would be good, or if you have a few sites to work on, then maybe using the plus and pro from the get-go. But they're a very good plugin to work with, and they have really good customer service as well. So what can you actually do with a membership website? Specifically with MemberPress, it's a really powerful membership plugin for WordPress, and it allows you to create, manage, and monetize your memberships, and it provides a comprehensive set of features that allows you to create gated content, sell subscriptions, and manage your data. Specifically, what you can do, things like create and manage online courses. You can sell access to exclusive content on your website. MemberPress allows you to provide premium support to your customers. You can run private membership communities. You can deliver digital products to your members, and you can also offer tiered memberships with different perks as well. So it's a really versatile tool that can be used for a variety of purposes. If you have a membership website, MemberPress can help you take it to the next level. So now that we have our website set up and we've got everything set up with the membership, and we've designed it a little as well with Elementor, now it's time to actually publish our website. In order to do that, right now our website is on a local server, our own computer. So now we have to pick a hosting provider to host it live on an actual server so people can access our website from anywhere. There are really lots of popular web hosting providers out there that are really good, and there are also web hosting providers out there that are specific to WordPress, and one of them is Bluehost. The next thing that you want to do is set up actual hosting so you can put your website live. So at this point, the only 2 things that you need next are some web hosting and then a domain name as well. So let's go over some web hosting that's specific for WordPress and e-commerce websites as well. There is lots of hosting providers out there that offer different kind of additional services as well. And there's also hosting providers that specialize in certain web technologies. So for example, Bluehost is a web web hosting provider, and they host all kinds of websites, and they offer the shared hosting, dedicated hosting, VPS hosting, but they also specialize in WordPress hosting. WordPress is a online CMS that's free to use, and it powers almost 46% of the world's internet websites. So it's a really popular platform, and if you are using WordPress as the platform for your website, then going for a hosting provider that specializes in WordPress will not only most likely to be of really good service, of really good value, you can also get good pricing as well, and it also just means that the customer service you'll receive will be very kind of knowledgeable and really competent as well. So one of the types of hosting I mentioned was shared hosting. Shared hosting is a really popular method of hosting, and it's especially good for people who are building out their websites for the first time. Shared hosting basically allows multiple websites to use a single server, so you don't know who or what websites you're sharing the resources of a server with. Each customer will usually have a limit on the total amount of server resources they can use, but this will be defined by your hosting package, whichever one that you want. Shared hosting is usually the cheapest and most economical option for your needs, which is why some people suggest using it when you're first starting out on what website that you have, because it's quite economical. But it's good to know that the cheaper price does come with some limitations, which we'll talk about today. But by far one of the best advantages of shared hosting is that it's one of the more affordable options. So for example, HostGator are really good for shared hosting. They offer shared hosting as part of their services, and they have an introductory offer for about $275 a month. And that's sort of like a usual starting price. So the usual starting price can be anywhere from like $2 to about $10 per month. So it is a really good and affordable option. And obviously that increases with the more sort of support and the more additional services that you add on. And most companies have this kind of multiple levels of hosting available, so you can upgrade your hosting plan to something a bit more that has a bit more, for example, disk space, and that has more advantages. Or if you start off on like a slightly higher plan and then later on you realize actually you don't need all the disk space, then you can always downgrade to a lower plan as well. So there's a lot of flexibility when it comes to shared hosting, and certain hosting providers offer that kind of multiple levels of hosting as well. So it makes it really manageable and makes it really flexible as well. Shared hosting also comes with a built-in cPanel. cPanel is kind of like a control panel software, and it basically provides you with an interface so that the process of hosting your website is a little bit similar. It allows you to kind of manage your web hosting, and it works as kind of like a desktop operating system as well. So a lot of hosting providers, HostGator as well, they will provide you with their own kind of cPanel that makes it easy for you to kind of manage your websites on the back end as well. Another advantage of shared hosting is that there's not a lot of technical maintenance that needs to be done on your end to the server, as it's usually part of the hosting packages. So for example, again with HostGator, a lot of services that they offer is phone and chat support. So depending on which hosting plan that you opt for, sometimes you only get chat support, sometimes you get phone and chat support, and sometimes you get premium chat support as well. So what that means is if you have any issues regarding your hosting, any billing issues, any actual hosting issues, technical issues, you can submit a ticket, you can request a callback, and someone equipped and knowledgeable of hosting will get back to you and be able to provide you with a solution, or even fix the problem itself, whatever it is that you're having. And that's usually included with a lot of plans themselves. So it's great. Shared hosting is a great option for people who have a small budget or who are just starting getting online, because again, it's they've multiple levels of plans that you can upgrade to, and there's no like nothing's like set in stone. If you have a plan that you're currently with and you realize you need to upgrade or downgrade for some reason, you can do that as well. You can always upgrade to another hosting package with time, and as your budget allows, you can always upgrade to a higher one as well. So you're not stuck with this kind of level of hosting forever. Another hosting provider that I mentioned earlier that also offer really good shared hosting is Bluehost. So Bluehost have been around for years, since around 1996, and it's a really large brand name when it comes to web hosting, specifically WordPress hosting. So with Bluehost, they boast a lot of good performance times, affordable prices, really good customer support and things like that. But they also offer really good plans for their shared hosting as well. So their shared hosting plan is the perfect plan to start a new website, especially if there's low traffic volume in a shared hosting environment. Because obviously you'll be sharing your resources with other websites. So similar to HostGator, they have multi-level support hosting packages as well. They've got Basic, Plus, and Choice Plus. So with the Basic plan, you get sort of a single website, and it hosts one domain, and I think you also get some standard features like the cPanel for your SSL, WordPress auto updates if your site is built on WordPress. You get 10 GB website space, and all of that is for a starting price of £2.44 a month. That's with the discount that they currently have. Normally it's around £8.25 a month as well. With the Plus, that's starting at £6.16 at the moment. Normally it's around £12. You get an unlimited websites with an unlimited storage space as well, or you get 20 GB website space as well. That means you can have a number of websites assigned to this one plan that you have. And you get sort of the standard features and essential features. Essential features being staging environment, domain privacy, spam protection, and free CDN. So the staging environment allows you to kind of clone your live website as it is, and on that cloned website, any new code that you want to try, any new plugin, any new design that you want to try, you can do it all in the staging environment. See how you feel about the new design, or if it's new code, see if it breaks anything on your site. But the good thing about it being on staging is that it's fully private, only you have access to it. So if anything goes wrong, nothing's happening on the front end on your actual website, it's only happening in the staging environment, and only you have access to it. So Bluehost offer that as part of their Plus plan and the shared hosting. Domain privacy is just whenever you purchase your domain through Bluehost, you can hide the domain owner information, things like your name and address, to kind of so that kind of protects you from spam or any risk of identity theft or things like that. So that comes with the essential features as well. And you get the spam protection and free CDN to help boost the performance of your site. That starts around £6 a month. Again, with the promotion, normally it says around £11.56. And the next plan that you have is Choice Plus. So with Choice Plus, again, similar to Plus, you get the unlimited website, but you get way more storage space. So you get about 40 GB, and you get free domain for 1 year. That's standard with all of them. With the Choice Plus, you get one domain privacy for one domain, so you can have domain privacy for one of the domains that you buy with Bluehost. You also get automated backup, so the site server will back up your site automatically for you, and you get all the standard features, and you get the essential features as well, so you get a bit more for that. And it starts from about $15.69 a month, but right now they have an offer for $6.16 a month. So if you're just starting your website, then you can select any one of these plans. You can easily upgrade your hosting plan as your website grows. And in terms of their customer service and support, not only do Bluehost have a range of articles and videos, so if you go onto their website, and if you go onto their resource, you can see they have a huge blog and a huge knowledge base filled with thousands of articles, step-by-step guides, video tutorials as part of the knowledge base. This kind of lets you know how competent they are, but also it's a huge help for beginners, and most common issues you can probably find the answer to in one of these blogs or in one of these knowledge bases as well. Sometimes also though you might need to actually get in touch with a person and actually talk to someone about your issues. So Bluehost offer a 24/7 support system where you can talk to their support team using the live chat or phone support, and this is a really helpful thing when you need quick help from technical support staff, and you know they're kind of one step away. a lot of their reviews, they have a lot of good reviews from people who have used their service before, and they're rated quite highly on their customer service. So the main advantages of Bluehost being their pricing. So their hosting plans, as we've seen, they're quite they are within reach for most of your users as well, and they have multiple levels of hosting as well, hosting packages, and they're really flexible to upgrade and downgrade. So if you start off on like a higher plan and realize actually you don't need as much of the features as they offer, then you can downgrade to one of the lower plans, or if you start off with the basic plan, you can always upgrade to a higher plan as well. But they're really good plans for people who are just getting started. They power a large number of websites with minimum downtime, so they are quite a reliable hosting provider to go for. And another thing is that there's no hidden charges, so there's no hidden fees when you're signing up for your account. Everything's kind of laid out for you, exactly what you're paying for. Another nice extra thing that they offer is the free domain. So you get a free domain name for the first year when you sign up. So if you haven't already got a domain name, you can get a 1 year free domain if you buy one of their hosting packages. The free CDN and SSL to help block malware and improve your security. They also offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, which is a really generous amount. It just means then you can try out their plans for a good month before thinking about maybe downgrading, upgrading, or maybe just moving to another hosting provider for in general. So it is a good hosting provider to go for if you are thinking about shared hosting for your website. Another popular hosting provider for shared hosting is Hostinger. Hostinger is a really popular and well-known hosting provider, particularly for WordPress websites. They offer affordable hosting, 24/7 live chat support, and a really good platform to host your website. And a bunch of other features like one-click WordPress install, managed automatic updates, enhanced security, free CDN, WordPress speed acceleration, and free site migration as well. Another popular thing about Hostinger is that they offer geolocation-specific hosting, meaning they've got different data centers that are across the world. They've got 7 data centers in total around the US, Europe, Asia, and South America. So they really do offer sort of optimized performance and great speed with all their websites as well. If you go onto Hostinger's website and click on their product pricing, you can see with their web hosting, they have 3 shared web hosting plans. So with the shared hosting plans, they come in single, premium, and business. And you can see they start off really affordable. So you can start off as cheap as the single, so about $2 a month, as much as the $4 a month for business. The main difference between all of these are the amount of websites you get. So with the single, you get 1 website associated to that plan, but with premium and business, you get 100 websites for that plan as well. The SSD storage, so that's essentially how much storage space you have, and with the single you get 50, premium and business you get 100 and 200. So the higher you plan, the more storage that you get. And in terms of bandwidth, both premium and business you get unmetered bandwidth. It's fully unlimited. However, with single you are limited to 100 GBs. Bandwidth really just determines how much data can go through your hosting provider, so really how fast your website can be. 100 GB, even though it is limited at single, is still quite a generous amount, especially if you don't have a lot of content on your website. It's not a particularly high traffic website, so you really can get by on like a 100 GB website, bandwidth website. You don't get free domain if you get a single plan, but you do with the premium and business. But you do get the SSL certificates for free as well, no matter what plan you have, so you have that extra layer of security. And other things that you get are the cPanel control, 24/7 support with all the plans, DNS management. You get all of that with this, with every single plan that you have. One thing that you don't get unless you get the business plan are the daily backups, and this can be quite a bit of a risk. If your site doesn't get backed up daily, you do run the risk of losing data information if you ever need to roll back to a previous version of the site. So you do get the daily backups with the business plan, however with the single and the premium you don't. If you ever come across a hosting plan that don't offer daily backups, the way to get around that would be to install a plugin called Updraft, which is free, and then manually do your own daily backups every single day. It's a bit more work, however it is quite important. If anything does go on your website, at least you have a very recent version of the website that you can go back to, as opposed to having to lose copious amounts of work. So that would be one of the bigger cons, I think, but they are one of the lowest priced hosting in the market. Their performance is optimized. They have really good customer support, and they have a lot of features as well that come for free, like the 24/7 customer support, DNS management, email accounts as well. Hostingers support and customer service. They do provide 24/7 customer support via live chat. They currently don't offer phone support, but their technical support team is very well trained and they are available to help when they're needed. They do offer support in English to global customers, but if you purchased your hosting using one of their local websites, then you have the option to get customer support in that local language as well. A lot of reviews on Hostinger found that their customer support team is very responsive and almost immediate with their response time as well. So there's a lot of good reviews reporting sort of good customer experience when interacting with the support team. And similar to Bluehost, Hostinger does have their own knowledge base library as well. You can see if you scroll down to the footer, they've got blogs, they've also got tutorials, knowledge base as well. And they all contain sort of step-by-step tutorials to kind of answer your common questions as well. So if you are having trouble with something, chances are if it's something small, you can find an answer or a solution by yourself using their knowledge base and using their kind of step-by-step guides as well. So overall, some of the better pros of choosing hosting or shared hosting plans is that they're lower price plans. They offer very low cost hosting plans for users who may just want to test out an idea. They rank really highly in terms of performance, especially for the price point that they're offering, and they have really good customer support, which is a huge help for beginners. Some of the cons would just be that there are no daily backups, but again, you can get around that if you were to use the Updraft plugin, which is a free plugin to use, and just create your own manual backups. In order to kind of keep their low-cost hosting viable, they do limit an entry on their low-level hosting plans, so they do have some limitations. But as your website grows, you can always upgrade to a cloud or a VPS plan to get rid of those kind of limitations. But they do offer a lot of different kind of web hosting and different web hosting plans as well. If you ever need to go in and check what their plans are, just simply go into the website and go into hosting and just have a look through of what they're offering or what they plan to offer as well. So those are some of the advantages and examples of shared hosting. There are some disadvantages to shared hosting though. Even though it is affordable and they have a solid uptime and it's easy to manage, certain drawbacks can be that the load time can be a little bit slower than dedicated servers. So servers can become overbundled by other sites because again, you are sharing the website space with other websites. So if other websites are taking up more of the space, then it can overburden the server, and then that can affect the load times on your website as well. As your site begins to receive like higher levels of traffic, you'll begin to notice that your site might not be performing as well. That's because there's just not enough resources allocated to your site in order to keep up with the high levels of traffic or the more content that's being loaded in. It's also not, in terms of their plan, they're quite limited, so there's a lack of customization options to truly get the highest level of performance from your website, because again, you are sharing the server with a bunch of other websites as well. However, if you're unsure as to whether or not you should use shared hosting or not, the people that tend to use shared hosting are for people that are just started getting online, they're growing their business, because it is low cost and affordable, and it's not likely you'll have a lot of high traffic in the beginning, it's a great option to have if you're just starting out and you're wanting to obviously host your site. It's important to note that a responsible web host will let you know when your traffic hits at a certain level that it's time to upgrade, and will monitor and shut down any sites that will pose a risk to others on the server. So you want to make sure you pick a reputable and reliable shared hosting provider that will kind of make you aware of that. In terms of alternatives to shared hosting, there's not any specific alternatives, but there are upgrades. They might not be as affordable as shared hosting, but you would need to kind of update if you are hitting more traffic, and if you are hitting more traffic, then hopefully you'll be able to kind of cover the costs of a more upgraded hosting plan. One of those options is VPS hosting. So VPS stands for Virtual Private Server Hosting. Virtual Private Server Hosting plans offer virtual machines to clients. So it's similar to shared hosting, where one server computer can have multiple sites running on it, but virtualization technology allows each account to be treated like its own machine, and they have their own dedicated resources and their own operating system. So as mentioned previously, so in shared hosting environments, all websites that are on the server, they are sharing the resources that are on the server, and most shared hosting providers will have code that will kind of limit the resources that each website can have, so no one's using up too much, no one is losing any resources that they're allocated. But sometimes those websites aren't guaranteed the resources, and that can fluctuate from time to time depending on how many clients are using the resources at the same time. But VPS hosting plans guarantee that the resources available to the client are there for them by using their technology. This means that you have a much more stable hosting environment with very little kind of fluctuation that you would get in shared hosting. In terms of hosting providers, one of the good hosting providers would be HostGator. So HostGator, we mentioned before, they offer shared hosting, but they also offer VPS hosting for more control and extra flexibility. So you can see with their plans, they've got up to 3. They've got multi-level plans as well. They've got the 2,000, 4,000, and 8,000. So you can see with the plans, the main difference is the amount of storage that you get. So with the most basic plan, you get 120 GB, but you can go all the way up to 240 GB. 2 GB RAM, 4 GB RAM, and 8 GB RAM, so like how much space that you actually have, and the CPU type as well. If you go for the most expensive plan, you get the 4-core CPU, but while the other two offers sort of 2-core CPU. CPU usage just shows how much CPU time was consumed by each process that's within your plan. So if you have like 100 processes running, then the CPU should split its time between all of these processes within a period of time. So the more higher the value that is, the faster your site would perform. As you can see with the pricing, their starting plans is still a lot more expensive than the shared hosting plan. So with HostGator specifically, it starts as low as $24 a month and as high as $60 a month. You can see if you go to compare plans exactly what you're getting. You can see you get the dedicated IP as well. The main difference is just how much CPU, RAM, and disk space you may need. If you're not sure, you can always contact the customer support members. So a good hosting provider will allow you to chat to them, request a call back, request an email, and they'll be able to provide you with the options. So you'll tell them exactly what your issues are, what you're having, what your site specs are, and they'll be able to provide you with the best plan that would kind of suit your needs as well. You can see they've got a whole bunch of different features as well for security, network support, email, things like that. So with the most basic plan, the Snappy 2000, they start off with at the $23.95 a month. If you need more storage than a web hosting plan, then this plan would be better for you. And then you've got the Snappy 4000, which comes with the 4 GB RAM, 2 cores of CPU, and 165 disk space. It also comes with the unmetered bandwidth, and they have 2 dedicated IPs. And this is a plan that they kind of recommend, especially for people who want to try VPS hosting, because it gives you enough storage to build a performancely optimized website, but it also leaves some room for you to scale up if you need to. Hence why they have the we recommend section over here. And that starts at $34.95 a month. Again, a lot more expensive than what you would be used to for shared hosting, but you are getting a lot more features out of it. Next thing you have then is the Snappy 8000 VPS hosting plan, and that comes with 8 GB RAM, 4 core CPU, and 240 GB SSD, and the unmetered bandwidth as well. That comes with the Snappy 4000, and you get the 2 dedicated IPs. So this is perfect for someone who wants to host multiple websites. If you're seeing huge surges of traffic, and you plan to sort of accept payments as well, because you need to make sure that, for example, if you have an e-commerce website, that the server that you've selected has enough resources to accommodate for the process that's going to be happening. Because if e-commerce websites compared to basic brochure builder websites, there's a lot more processes happening in terms of people creating user accounts, people adding things to their cart, people buying things, accepting payments, creating orders. There's a lot of processes that's happening in the background, and multiply that even more if it's a high traffic website. So while this is a lot more money, if you are experiencing a lot of traffic and you have lots of functionality on your website now, then you need to make sure that the plan that you're selecting gives you enough resources to accommodate for that. They also have some add-on services like domain privacy, SSL certificate, and free domains as well, that kind of help with the costing and add more value to your hosting provider as well, to your hosting plan. Another popular hosting provider for VPS hosting is InMotion Hosting. So they have quite a lot of good reviews in terms of previous clients who have used them. They're very positive, and they have a lot more flexibility when it comes to their plans in terms of the billing cycle and also how many plans that they have, compared to HostGator that we've seen earlier. So you can see on their website they have their hosting plans here, and they've got a range of 4 different plans. They also have a number of different billing cycles that you can use. So you can have a billing cycle as short as 1 month, or as long as 3 years. But you'll notice the longer your billing cycle is, the more affordable the plan can be. So for example, for 1 month, the VPS 4 GB RAM is $80 a month. But if you were to buy it at 3 years, then you get it at $20 a month. So that's quite a big difference. And you can see how much you're saving up here as well. So that's one thing that you want to consider when you're purchasing a hosting provider, is that when you're purchasing a plan from a hosting provider, is their billing cycles and how that fits in with your budget. But you can see, compared to HostGator, they have a lot more levels of packages with their plans. So their packages in terms of their CPU cores start off from 2, but you can also get as much as 8, whereas HostGator starts off at 2, and the most you can get is 4. 4 GB RAM, you can go all the way up to 16 GB RAM, again a lot more than what HostGator is offering. And in terms of SSD, you get a generous amount on their basic plan at 90 GB. HostGator was a little bit less, and the maximum you can get is about 360 GB, again a really generous amount. Even with the bandwidth, so even on the most basic plan, you get the 2 terabytes a month, but while the rest of their plans have the unlimited bandwidth and the dedicated IPs as well. But again, with the most expensive plan, you get 10 dedicated IPs and the cPanel licenses as well. So you can see even their most expensive plan, starting off as $60 a month, which is their most expensive plan. If you buy it for the 3 years, is a lot cheaper than it's still cheaper than the HostGator's most expensive plan, and you get a lot more out of it. But again, what you want to consider whenever you are picking your plan is to see where your site is now. So how much traffic you have is the most important thing, and how much can you scale up. So even the most basic plan gives you a lot of opportunity to scale up. The best value is this 8 GB plan, because not only will you have plenty of resources for a high traffic, high performance site, there is room to scale up with that as well. Same with the GB, with the most expensive one. You have so many value here. Again, it's important to maybe get in contact with a sales expert. So you can see with InMotion Hosting, they have their chat box here to talk to a sales expert. Talk to them about your site, what issues you're currently having, if you are having issues, your site traffic, and go by what they're recommending. A good hosting provider will be able to tell you exactly what you would need and be able to equip you with that as well. Upgrading and downgrading your VPS hosting plan is very simple. If you've outgrown your hosting plan, or if you're underutilizing your current plan, you can upgrade or downgrade to match your current hosting needs. They have lots of plans to suit any kind of business need and budget. They also focus on WordPress hosting as well. So InMotion themselves are a really well-known industry brand. They're reliable, they have good performance, they have award-winning technology as well. They have a lot of plans that kind of suit any kind of billing cycle that you need as well. They have great scalability because of the different levels of billing cycles that they have and different support hosting packages that they have. It's really good to scale up and down your business. And they have sort of easy staging tools and a lot of other options as well. What's great with InMotion is that they offer a 90-day money-back guarantee, which is an extremely generous amount. HostGator, if you remember, was only about 30. I don't think so. Domains aren't including in that guarantee, so once they're registered, they are yours to keep, or you can use them with other hosts. They do offer the free website transfer and server setup, so that's completely hassle-free transfer if you ever needed that. And they have the free SSL certificates, and they have the SSD storage drive. So SSD storage drives are way faster than older drives, which makes your website load even faster. Most web hosts don't offer SSD storage, and some charge a lot for that. But again, as mentioned before, some of the cons is that it's not the cheapest. So they are priced competitively, but they're not the cheapest in the market. So definitely you want to make sure you have all your questions answered, you've talked to an expert before you finally make a decision and purchase one of their plans. Just one of those things to consider. Another option for hosting providers that provide VPS hosting is Liquid Web. So Liquid Web has been around for a really long time, started in 1997, and it's become a really well-known platform to use, or hosting provider to use, for managed VPS hosting, cloud hosting, and even other things like dedicated server hosting as well. They are known for their fast and high-quality support, and they call it heroic support. And all of their hosting servers are optimized for speed, performance, and security. And they kind of boast sort of hassle-free hosting solutions. So it's a really good platform to use, especially if you're not so much technically minded and you're wanting to leave anything technical for your website and the hosting website in the hands of your hosting provider. A lot of top companies like Motorola, Red Bull, ESPN, they all use hosting Liquid Web as their hosting provider. So some general pros: they have super fast servers. They have a great line of customer support that are really knowledgeable and well equipped to handle sort of the technical issues that you might be facing. If you are planning to build a WordPress website, they offer one-click WordPress install. They have easy staging tools, and they also have integrated firewall and security, so you have that extra level of security as well onto your website. Some of the cons about Liquid Web is that there is no free domain with any of their plans. So you'll see, you would have seen in the previous plans that we've just talked about with HostGator, InMotion, some, if not all of their plans will include a free domain, which can be really handy if you don't have your own domain. None of the Liquid Web plans come with that. So if that is a feature that you were looking for, this might put you off or might not be one for you. And the other option that the other con that this hosting provider might have is that they don't offer a money back guarantee, which is quite a bit of a risk considering that they do have quite a little bit of high pricing. So you would have seen in like HostGator, InMotion, even other hosting providers like Bluehost, Hostinger, they all offer some kind of money back guarantee. At the very minimum, they would offer a 30-day guarantee. Sometimes they can go as high as 90 days or 60 days. But Liquid Web don't offer any days of money back guarantee at all. So it's really, really important that if you are deciding to use pick a package from their hosting platform, that you speak with one of their advisors. You really look into what your hosting needs are, get some advice on what your hosting needs are and what they might be, and pick the correct kind of package for you. Because it is a little bit costly. So their support and customer service, however, is really good. They promise sort of 24/7 customer support, and they have a really highly trained staff as well. And it's available via live chat, phone, and support tickets. They guarantee their response time to your support inquiries. So phone calls and live chat inquiries are answered in under a minute. Support tickets are answered within 30 minutes. So staff members are really trained to take ownership of your issues, so your ticket won't get passed around a lot before being resolved. They have a lot of amazing customer reviews. If you go into their YS and see sort of, their industry support here as well, you can see that they have a lot of good reviews, even like on their website as well. Across their website, they've got lots of customer testimonials by previous customers who have used their hosting provider, that they are a really good customer support service. They also have a 100% uptime guarantee. So they often mention the hosting company's outstanding uptime. So unlike other companies, Liquid Web actually promise 100% uptime, and if they don't live up to that promise, you can receive a credit of 10 times the amount of time you were down. So you're taking it very seriously. Their performance as well. For dedicated server customers, they offer a 30-minute hardware replacement guarantee as well. That means that with any faulty hardware that are happening within their server, they are guaranteed to replace it within 30 minutes of identifying the problem. So that's a really good promise to have, especially that if there is any chance of a downtime, you are sort of properly compensated for it. So yeah, they have really fast hosting. All of their hosting plans are optimized for quick page loads. And a lot of customer reviews do mention how fast their hosting is. They don't have the plugin limits. So some web hosting providers like WP Engine, they do put limits on what plugins that you can use. Liquid Web doesn't have any, and you can use any WordPress plugins that you want on your site. They have that guaranteed uptime. So earlier that we talked about, they have that 100% uptime, and they will offer you then 1,000% credit for any downtime that they have. And the customer support is one of the best. One of the cons of Liquid Web is that they don't have the money back guarantee, as we mentioned earlier, but you're not under any contract and you can cancel your service at any time. So if you prepaid, you can still get a refund for any full month of service that you don't use. You just have to give them a notice before the month in question begins. So you do get some money out of it, but you can't almost test out the hosting plan before fully committing to it is the only thing. So it is really important that you talk to their advisors and get a good understanding of what you need and what they can offer. And you can tell also just by their pricing, they have a little bit, their costs are a little bit higher than some hosting providers, but you do get what you pay for in terms of quality and support. So with VPS hosting, all kinds of VPS hosting, you get that sort of enhanced control, root access, added security, but you don't have to pay the full price of like a dedicated server. If you know you've outgrown your shared hosting, here's so how you would know that you've outgrown your shared hosting is, for example, if you've seen traffic surges. If your website started out with little traffic, but suddenly you get more, you've noticed you get as there's a spike in traffic through your Google Analytics. You might start to consider VPS hosting to support that. If you know your website is about to grow quickly, so if you know your website is about to get traffic, you don't want to risk you don't want to run the risk of any downtime. You can upgrade to a VPS preemptively. Shared hosting is kind of limited when it comes to which software is allowed. So, because again, you are uploading software to a server that is shared with other websites. So if you ever want to install your own software, then shared hosting then won't be ever for you, and you might want to move on to something else like VPS hosting. So those are just some scenarios where you might consider VPS hosting over shared hosting. Another option of hosting as opposed to VPS or shared hosting is cloud hosting. So cloud hosting doesn't take place on a physical server. Instead, it happens over sort of multiple connected servers that link together to make up essentially the cloud. That means the website that uses cloud hosting is never dependent on just one server. By linking up several servers, cloud hosting then has more power and more storage space. If something were to happen to one server, or if that one server needed repairs, the website's the rest of the network kind of pick up the slack, so your website kind of remains unaffected. So if you've used sort of cloud technology before, things like Dropbox or Google Drive, the concept of cloud hosting is very familiar. So cloud hosting usually costs more than shared hosting, not by a whole lot, but it also makes it easier for your website to scale as needed, and they tend to support faster load times even when your website gets a lot of visitors. So some of the pros of cloud hosting is that it lets you access the features that you need when you need them by using resources from multiple servers, again, without the high cost of a dedicated server. It's like being able to use the advantages that comes with shared hosting, but you don't have that much cost issues as you would if you were to get a dedicated server. But some of the cons of cloud hosting is that if you prefer to do your own backend kind of work, if you're a very technical minded person and you want to have access to, for example, like cPanel, all the root access, everything like that, then cloud hosting might not be for you because you don't get the root access for customization. It is more expensive than shared hosting, so it may not be the best choice for a new website if you're on a tight budget. It's good for new site owners and small businesses who want to ensure that they have really fast load times and handle traffic peaks during like sales season without a lot of technical work on their part. So some popular cloud hosting websites is, for example, HostGator. So we've talked about HostGator before. So they do the managed hosting. They also do VPS hosting, but they also do cloud hosting. So that you get the more speed, less downtime, and a lot of support as well. So all of their plans, they do get the free domain. So you have that offer. And they have slightly more affordable pricing as well. So you can see the introductory offer starts at $5 a month, which is a little bit more expensive than what we've seen as shared hosting, but not by much. And the most expensive plan goes for $10 a month. Again, a little bit more expensive than shared hosting, but not by much. With both of these plans, the Baby Cloud and the Business Cloud, you get unlimited domains. But with the Hatchling Cloud, you just get the one domain. Again, so whichever... if you have more than one website, then you know that the first plan kind of won't be enough for you. You will need one of the other two plans. But then the other differences between them is the memory size and the CPU size as well. So depending on how much content you would have on your website, how much functionality you have on your website, maybe the Baby Cloud will be enough. But then you can also upgrade to Business Cloud as well if you feel like you need to. If you click on compare all plans, you can see a bit more space as well to see what they actually offer. Things like local caching, free SSL, and free domain is available with all of their plans. including they also have the 30-day money-back guarantee. So that's really good if you just want to test out, even if it's your first time testing out cloud hosting. The money-back guarantee allows you to kind of test it out for a good month before you make your final decision, and you can always get a full refund at the end of it if you realize you actually don't need it. You do have the option for free emails as well, and free MySQL transfer and script transfer as well. You get the bandwidth and disk space as unmetered, so you can have sort of reliable web hosting and things like that. Another popular platform for cloud hosting is Hostinger. So we talked about Hostinger earlier when we were looking at shared hosting. So they also offer different plans for their cloud websites, the cloud hosting. So they have Cloud Startup all the way to Cloud Enterprise. And you'll notice with all of these, you get 3 months free. So you're saving up to 60% or saving up to 54%. So there's a lot more value, especially when you sign up for the first time. You're getting a lot of features for what you're getting. So for all of these plans, you get the free email, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited databases. You also get 300 websites that you can assign to each cloud server. And in terms of performance, that's also where you're a little bit different. So you get the difference is between the RAM. So the memory you get between all of them is different. So you get 3 GB RAM for each website, 6 GB RAM, and 12 GB RAM for each of the server that you're getting. And then also you get the CPU cores a little bit different as well. So depending on the amount of traffic you're going to have, the amount of performance needs that you're going to have, this is going to differ in terms of how much resources you're going to need allocated. That's the main difference between all of them. On top of that, you get the SSD storage, but even with the most basic plan, you get 200 SSD storage, which is a very generous amount, but you can go all the way up to 300 GB as well. Apart from that, everything else is similar across all plans. You get the unlimited SSL, you get protected name servers, and you get the daily backups, which is also really important across all of your hosting plans. You also get the free migration if you ever need to migrate from one platform or another. This makes that process really hassle-free and really easy for you to use. If you are using a WordPress platform, then they also have specific WordPress options as well, things like the staging tool, acceleration, and manage WordPress to make sure that your backend experience of WordPress is as hassle-free as possible. In terms of service and support, all of their plans come with the 30-day money-back guarantee. And so you can test out one of the plans in full for like a full month before finally upgrading or downgrading, or even just moving to a different hosting provider in general. Hostinger have different multiple data centers. So as we talked about, they have about 7 across US, Europe, Asia, and South America. And that applies to all of their cloud hosting plans as well. In terms of their payment terms, they're billed sort of per month. So there's not a lot of flexibility in terms of billing cycles, but you do get a lot of offers with that as well. To see all their features, you can just click on see all features. You can see everything else that you get with that as well. But again, the main differences between all of them is the storage and the actual performance space as well. Everything else you get free. So it's a really good value for money, I think, for all of their cloud hosting. And again, Hostinger's support. Hostinger customer service, so they provide the 24/7 customer support via live chat. As mentioned before, they don't offer the phone support, but their technical support team is really well trained and available to help whenever it's needed. And that's it. So there are quite a lot of steps involved when you are creating your own website, especially with WordPress. You have to create your own WordPress install and then build and design the website exactly how you want it, whether that's with a custom theme or your own theme or a template theme. And then setting up obviously your products, and then you've got the web hosting and the domain hosting to think about as well. If you feel like it's a bit much and something that you would have trouble with, then you might want to consider working with an agency. Working with a agency, especially agencies that have experience in WordPress, will basically means that you'll have expertise, you'll have a lot more resources available as well to you, and it gives you peace of mind. Working with a WordPress agency can give you a peace of mind knowing that your project is in good hands and you can focus on running your business while the agency takes care of the technical aspects of your web project, especially when it comes to web maintenance. A WordPress agency can help you keep your website secure and up to date, and they can also monitor your website for any downtime and security breaches. So let's look at some of the benefits of using a web agency to look after your website project and your web maintenance as well. Next up is choosing the right agency, and this is a really important step, and it's easier to do once you have figured out your own goals. So some steps to making sure that you choose the right one. First one being is to define your own goals, but then once you're done with that, it's time to research and shortlist. So you can start by searching for an agency online, and you want to look at their website. Their website is a clear indicator of the quality of the agency's work, and it also has the most up-to-date information on what their service is and their pricing structure as well. What's really important to check out on their website is their portfolio, or essentially their showcase section, where they will showcase examples of work that they've done in the past, and you want to look for work that is closely to what you want. For example, you want to look for past web development projects, design projects, things like that, and just take a read through and see what people's experiences are. It gives you an indication of the agency's experience, the types of businesses that they work with, and the overall user satisfaction level as well. And you can see their work and see how they've either improved a website or achieved a client's goal as well. Portfolios is a really good way to see what kind of quality of work that you'll get if you work for them, and the agency's experience as well. You also want to check their services page and see what kind of expertise that they offer. You want to look for agencies with a track record of successfully maintaining websites in your industry with similar requirements. Experience is a really good indicator of competence, and you want to ensure that they offer the specific services you need. Some agencies like Profile Tree will specialize in services, but they will also offer a wide range of services, including web design and development. They'll also help you with marketing and SEO as well. You want to choose a platform that can provide a comprehensive package or tailor their services to your needs. Another really good way to see to gauge a development agency's customer satisfaction level is reviews. Trustpilot, even Google My Business reviews are a really good way to find this, as they're quite unbiased. You want to just type in the name of the business, and then you want to look for the Google reviews that are sent in, and you can order by most relevant, the newest ones, and just really take the time and see what people are appreciative of, what they rave about, and it gives you a really good indication of what your experiences will be like if you were to partner with this agency. So next up is effective communication, and this is really crucial for successful collaboration with a website development agency. And here are several ways in which it can greatly benefit the collaboration. First one is the clear expectation, and this also is a feature of whenever you define your own scope and goals. But essentially, communication helps in setting clear expectations from the beginning. Both you and the agency should understand the project's goals, scope, timeline, and budget. When everyone is on the same page, there are fewer chances of misunderstandings or scope creep. Frequent communication like status meetings or progress reports keep all parties informed of the project's process, and this transparency allows you to address any issues promptly, making necessary adjustments. Effective communication facilitates a feedback loop, so you can provide feedback on the agency's work and they can share their insights and recommendations. This two-way exchange leads to a better decision making and improvements in the process. With challenges or roadblocks arise, open communication is key to problem solving. You can work together with the agency to find creative solutions to keep the project moving forward. Communications ensures that everyone is aligned with the project's objectives, and this alignment helps agencies make design and development decisions that are aligned with your business goals. And if you need to make changes to the project scope, clear communication is definitely essential. Discuss the potential impact on timelines, on budgets, and functionality so that everyone is aware of the consequences of scope changes. Overall, consistent and transparent communication builds trust between you and also the agency. Trust is a crucial factor in a successful collaboration as it fosters a positive working relationship. And your active involvement throughout the effective communication shows the agency that you are committed to the project's success. This can motivate the agency to go the extra mile in delivering a high quality product. And communication doesn't end with the project completion. It's important to maintain communication for post-launch support, updates, ongoing maintenance of your website. A good market development agency won't just leave you high and dry once the website is launched. They will offer post-launch support for training, maintenance, updates, things like that. In summary, effective communication is the cornerstone of successful collaboration with a website development agency. It ensures that everyone is on the same page, reduces misunderstandings, and allows for agile decision-making throughout the project lifestyle. Building a strong communication framework helps create a positive and productive working relationship. Next one is creating a detailed product brief, and this is a really crucial step in fostering effective collaboration with a development agency. A well-structured project brief serves as a roadmap, essentially providing information and guidance to the agency. It gives clarity of objectives. The brief will clearly define the project's objectives, goals, and desired outcomes. The project brief outlines the scope of work, including features, functionalities, and deliverables. And this again is what helps scope creep, because it establishes what is and isn't included in the project. The brief can include a project timeline with key milestones and deadlines. You can specify budget constraints or guidelines in the project brief. This allows the agency to propose solutions that fit within your budget or recommend adjustments as needed. Technical requirements as well are specified here, or any integrations that are necessary for the project. This includes platforms, technologies, and third-party apps and services, and that need to be considered. If there are potential risks associated with the project, outline them in the brief. This allows the agency to plan for risk mitigation strategies and provide any reference materials or existing assets that may be relevant to the projects, like branding guidelines, previous design work, or content samples. By creating a detailed project brief, you are empowering the agency with information that they need to propose a tailored solution and ensure that the work aligns with your objectives and expectations. It serves as a foundation document that minimizes misunderstandings, enhances collaboration, which leads to more successful website development projects. And that's a wrap on today's video on building a membership website. I hope you enjoyed the content, and I hope you found it informative and inspiring. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated on all things tech, design, and innovation, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Feel free to leave your thoughts, questions on any topics you'd like us to cover in the comments below. And until next time, keep designing, keep developing, and keep innovating. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you in the next one.